The man tried to block the giant pendulum clock with one hand, but the moment he made contact, his arm was severed clean off by this so-called ordinary object. All the gods in the arena instantly fell silent. Loki in the audience finally realized that Jack's true divine weapon wasn't the bag he'd been talking about at all. He'd fooled everyone once again. Jack's real divine weapon was the pair of gloves he wore on his hands. Anything touched by the gloves would transform into a divine weapon. Every time he'd pulled out a throwing knife from his bag before, it was all to mislead Heracles, paving the way for his counterattack later on. Everything had been part of his plan. Next, Jack picked up a stone, and with the power of the divine weapon enhanced, he flicked it lightly and it shot out like a cannonball. Even more desperate was the fact that the entire city, after being touched by the gloves, had become Jack's arsenal. But Heracles remained calm. He removed his armor and quickly stopped the bleeding from his severed arm. Through Jack's right eye vision, he discovered that Heracles' heart held no fear whatsoever. Instead, it was brimming with fighting spirit. Jack deeply admired such an opponent. He removed his hat and gracefully bowed to Heracles. But then he added that he would definitely make Heracles feel fear. Hearing these words, Heracles actually showed a sorrowful expression. When Jack looked at him again, Heracles' heart was still that sacred golden color. To end the battle as quickly as possible, Heracles decided to hold back no longer. He threw his weapon toward the night sky. The gates of hell immediately opened above the city. A blood-red Cerberus burst through the gate, clamping onto both of Heracles' arms and his head. This was his ultimate form, Cerberus, the Hound of Hades. In this state, his power would reach its limit, but his life force would also drain rapidly. He had to end the fight quickly. Heracles surged with power. The floor beneath his feet shattered instantly. He swung a devastating punch. The sheer force of the punch alone reduced the nearby wall to rubble. Everything around them was obliterated. Jack also turned the debris into divine weapons and immediately counterattacked. Just as the punch was about to land, Jack grabbed a divine manhole cover to defend himself, but he didn't expect Heracles to punch straight through it, landing a blow square on Jack's face and sending him flying several meters away. Jack tried to use his grappling hook to escape again, but Heracles wouldn't give him another chance. With one punch, he slammed him to the ground. This time, Jack's body was even pierced through by a railing, but this was still part of Jack's plan. Enduring the excruciating pain, he pulled out the railing, then ripped off his cloak. The cloak, enhanced by the gloves, became razor sharp. With one swing, he sliced through an entire 100-meter-tall building. The building toppled toward Heracles. The entire structure had become a divine weapon. Even a god couldn't take such an attack head-on. Jack then used Heracles' defensive moment to successfully leap out of the collapsing building. Unable to dodge, Heracles could only take the hit. This scene made the human audience start worrying, all shouting words of encouragement for him. The massive divine weapon building came crashing down. Just when everyone thought Heracles was surely defeated, a fist burst through the rubble. The indomitable war god Heracles stood up once more. Jack was amazed to discover that, even though Heracles was gravely injured, his heart remained completely unwavering, still radiating that sacred golden light. This sight excited Jack even more. The two quickly engaged in their final close-quarters combat. But how could a mortal body possibly contend with a god? Heracles landed a punch on Jack's chest. Jack coughed up blood and was sent flying once again.